Alrighty, so I'm looking at this scene and this character has basically in it, and we've got to figure out how to render this character. Okay? So, what you guys need to realize is that when you bring Morpheus in, he didn't come with any source images, or textures rather, for things to load up on. Okay? So, that's the first thing you guys have to realize. Second thing you guys are going to have to do is make sure there's lighting in your scene. Now, we work with 3-point lighting usually in our class. So that's pretty much what we're going to be working with here. Okay? And the third thing that I want you to make sure that you guys have set up is Mental Ray. So the first thing I want you guys to do is first save this file scene. Okay? Save it as something, 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 whatever the hell it needs to be. Okay? Your file name, whatever, final. Make sure that's listed. Okay? After you save it, what you want to do is go to your render settings, go to your render using tab, and click on Mental Ray. Alright? Now you have all these lovely little other options that you want, but the only one you want to focus on is quality. Okay? Now my quality presets has production. Yours has something like legacy, rescale something. Alright? That's what you want to go with, something that allows you to basically have the highest quality that you're looking for. So it would be production with adaptive sampling rate. Alright? We're going to change that to a custom sampling rate and make sure that your min and max hit 1 and 2. Alright? Your anti-aliasing contrast can be set to 0.1, that's fine. 3.0, 3.0, that's fine. And then in your common, name this whatever you want, /fin, because when you send this out to a video, that's when you're going to name it the convention that I want you to name it. Right now, you could just name it as final image, final render 01, final render, and underscore it. Okay? And when you do that, you'll notice that this changes up here as well. So you want to change it. You want to change your image setting to PNG. PNG is because they have alpha maps set up, and that you'll automatically capture that alpha map, and you won't have to worry about it for later on. So you want that connected. Here you want to make sure it's name underscore pound extension. Okay, because it already has that, then you can just delete that one. And you want to make sure it has a frame padding of 4. Okay, because I doubt any of your animations go above 1000. So having it set to 4 will guarantee that your images will be rendered in order. Okay, make sure your start and end frames end and start where they need to. So if it starts at frame 1, it starts at frame 1. It ends at frame 100. You make sure it ends at 100. Now, if you guys are using multiple computers, this is important because you need to maintain where each computer is rendering what and what when. Alright? So it's imperative that you guys know that where your rendering is starting and where your rendering is ending. The next thing is HD 1080. I always make sure your settings need to be 1920 by 1080 and maintain this pixel height ratio. You understand? Your aspect ratio will be set to 1 square. Device aspect ratio should be 1.777. Okay? Or you can have it at 1.778. Either or, it doesn't matter. Okay? So after your rendering settings are set, what you want to make sure now is if you have lighting. If there is no lighting in the scene, you press 7, you will notice that your character literally comes out in shade. Okay? He just comes out as a black mess. So all you're going to be looking at is a silhouette. That's because there is no light in the scene. So what do? You create lights. In this case, in our case, we create the 3-point perspective, or rather 3-point lighting system. So we're going to create this lighting system for this character real quick. So now he has basically relatively even lighting all throughout. Alright. The key light, of course, if you want to label it, name it key light, fill light, backlight, you can do so. Alright. So from here, what you want to do now is make sure that it can render. So if I was to render this guy right now, by rights, he should be rendering okay, right? Now look what happened. Notice that there is just a whole bunch of black stuff here. Like where's his skin, where's his arms, and all that, right? It looks nothing like that, right? Where is it? It's missing. It's actually there. You see how his alpha map is still there. It's just that his shaders aren't being registered. So you have to make sure his textures are there. You have to remember that his source images did not come in. So therefore, they're not locked into your source image folder, and they're not basically where they're supposed to be. So what you can do to fix this is just go to Windows, Rendering Editors, open up your Hypershade. Alright? So when you open up your Hypershade, you'll notice that basically you have some solid black stuff around here. Alright? Now what this does is basically it's telling you that it's missing things. Okay? So for you to fix this is just as easy as going into your attribute editor for your material. Select that and open your attribute editor by either pressing Control A or clicking this. And going to where it says color and break the connection. Click on this one, and you see how it has these two selected. This means that it's going out and is reading something from a different one. It's connected to something. So just break those. Okay? And here, this is basically set to this thing here. Alright? It's up to you if you want to change it. This is basically how it's supposed to look, apparently. Alright? So, now that I broke all the connections, it should work. Right? It didn't. Why didn't it work? Well, that's because easier to show you. So when you go ahead and you see this right here, it's because it's still linked to this solid black here. Okay? So if we change this to a different color, right, and we change the diffuse to another color if you want, you could just leave it as black, I want to say. If you want to leave the ambient and change these things a little bit, it's fine. Okay? But when you do that, what that should do is now fix the problem, and you should be able to see Morpheus just fine. Okay? So now that Morpheus is in view, you shouldn't have any problems rendering. You guys should be able to do what you need to do. I expect to see your animations by Saturday. Alright? Take care. You guys have fun. Enjoy. Peace.